Good day, all. It is my pleasure again to welcome you to our second or third video about the first time home buyer series. And today we will talk about home ownership versus renting, and we will also address a little bit about planning and budgeting. So let's get started. So obviously you are potentially renting at the moment or living with your parents. And when you're renting, you've got a few components. So the lease that you had to sign is a lease typically for 1 year, and your lease amount is steady for that term. And obviously, at the end of the term, there might be some increase on a yearly basis that is minimal, but is to be expected. Then you may have also be responsible for some of the utilities like heating and lighting. These are things that you have to pay above and extra from your lease amount. And also, obviously, if you want to have cable, that will be an extra as well. However, one of the benefits with renting is that you have no maintenance. So if the toilet breaks, if your appliances goes to fritz, if you have any bugs in your unit, you have to contact the landlord and get the landlord to have someone take care of these issues for you, and you don't have to spend any money to be able to have those issues addressed. One of the drawbacks is to work with the landlord to get that done. Some landlords are better than others. We're not going to go into any specifics, but suffice to say that as a renter, it's pretty easy. As long as you pay your lease on time regularly, then everything is pretty much done for you. You walk in, you walk out of the building, you don't have to worry about anything. Versus home ownership, well, that's a different ball game altogether, I have to say. You have to think about obviously qualifying for the mortgage. You have to make your mortgage payment on time like you would with a rental payment. But the difference is that the utilities, you would have to pay for the heat and the lighting on top and above the water and the property taxes, which typically includes the school taxes as well. And if you wanted, obviously, the cable, that would be also on top and above that. As a homeowner, you will have to think about maintenance and budget for those kind of expenses, like replacing the roof down the road, replacing some windows potentially. In the last year and a half, we've had several places where the wind really took down some shingles from roofs, tore down some fences over, made some damages that any homeowner would have to replace or repair when those things happen. Let's not forget all the floods that has occurred, and a lot of the insurances won't really cover you for floods or wind damage like that. So make sure that your insurance policies, you read it over and you understand it, and you ask a lot of questions to your insurance broker to make sure that you understand when you're covered and when you're not covered. But in any case, the wind, the water might be something that could bring, potential repairs for you to think about as a homeowner. And also old appliances. So when you buy a home, especially in Ontario, you buy the home with the current appliances typically, and some of them might be pretty old. So some of them may break on the day of closing. Who knows, right? Also, you have to think about plumbing issues, electrical issues, the lawn cutting, snow shoveling. All of those are action to take care of and to, have to address. So big difference between renting and home ownership. Mentally, are you ready for that? I want you to write down that question. Am I ready for that? And kind of simmer on that for a few days and answer that question. Write it down on your little booklet and take the next step. If the answer is yes, take the next step in listening to the next video, which will talk about budgeting, because it is the meat and potatoes to be able to find out whether or not you can afford to have a mortgage and qualify for the purchase of the home. So thanks again for joining me. It's been a pleasure for me to provide you with additional information and knowledge so that you understand whether or not you are ready to make the largest purchase in your life. So see you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.